What's going on, fight fans? Welcome along to UFC Fight Week on Fox, powered by Musashi. Niko Pajarillo broadcasting from sunny Miami, Florida, where UFC 314 takes place this weekend. And the greatest champion Australia has ever produced, Alexander Volkanovski, looks to reclaim his featherweight crown against dangerous Brazilian fighter Diego Lopes. We're going to speak to both those gentlemen on the show very, very shortly. Also, in the co-main event, Paddy Pimblett and Michael Chandler, two of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC. They go head-to-head in the lightweight division, and Paddy's actually going to take us out courtside to sit at a Miami Heat game. So from right here in the 305, this is Fight Week on Fox. It's a pleasure right now to be joined by my co-host for today, New Zealand Warriors legend Shaun Johnson, and of course Alex Volkanovski. Now Volk, 14 months outside of the octagon for you. Does it feel a bit surreal for Fight Week to finally be here?
Not really. For some reason it doesn't feel like it's been that long. I guess I've been to a few fight weeks, even though I wasn't fighting, doing a bit of the media. I think that's what makes me feel like it wasn't that long ago, but going through the process as normal and just enjoying it. Yeah, it's been good.
You talk about the time away from the ring, revitalised, refreshed. How's the family going? I know you just welcomed a new one. Found out about. Yep. Yeah, we saw that. How's the missus? How's the kids going with you coming over here right now?
Yeah, they're good. You know, they're just committed as me. You know, even before I left, I was talking to the girls, and we're going, make sure you get that belt back. Even during camp, like I'll eat something, like whether it's I'll sneak a chocolate in or something, which I'm allowed. So like, is that on your diet? You know what I mean? Like, they're fully committed as well. So they know I'm over here doing business, and they want me to bring that belt back. But you got another girl on the way, so it's going to be 4 girls, which is.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, oh Lord.
Yes.
I can say that because I got 2 girls. Okay. So you represent a lot of us, right?
Okay, there you go. Exactly.
A couple of girls, that's it. How good.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but we can't wait to see you bring that belt back, Volk. And it's really interesting what you said to me only a few weeks ago. You said that the only fighter who's really been able to go toe-to-toe with you for 5 rounds has been Islam Makhachev. Everybody else just sort of has a puncher's chance. So Diego Lopes, I would say, effectively needs a finish by that logic. So what do you need to do to counteract that? Because he is very good at finding a finish. After all, 22 of his 26 victories have been via finish. Yeah,
for sure. So when I say that, I don't mean like, it's only lucky shots. Obviously, people can set up the right shot. They got the power, in Ilya's case. But I just mean that no one's beaten me for 25 minutes. You know what I mean? No one's going to out-strategize me. And I truly do believe that. The only person that has a chance of doing that is Islam Makhachev, being bigger and, being so well-rounded. But with Diego, just him being he's so aggressive. That's why he's dangerous, right? He's got a chance because of how aggressive he is, but obviously he's going to leave a lot of openings. You come at me like that, expect some big thing to get thrown back. Expect to miss and some big things getting thrown back at you. So I believe I'll be capitalising on his aggression. But at the same time, I need to be wary because, that's why he will be dangerous because of how aggressive he is.
Well, what about the mental side of things, Volk? You went 10 years almost undefeated. Now you're encountering a situation that you've never been in before. How has that been different for you mentally the past year and a bit?
It's not any different. I'm not looking at it as like, I'm bouncing back from the fights. It's not like that. It's... I've got a job to do. That's how I always look at it. I've got a guy in front of me. I've got a job to do. There are going to be questions where people are like, has he still got it and all that sort of stuff. So, there you might think of showing people, reminding them that I'm still that guy. Like, that might come up. But, I don't care about the losses, to be honest. So mentally, that's old news, right? Like, that's how I look at it. I've got a job to do. There's a guy in front of me. And preparation went well, and I'm just going to go and do it. So that's how I look at it. I don't really look at it as, you're coming off 2 losses or anything like that. So it's weird. I guess most people would look at it like that, but I don't.
Yeah, it's a great message, and there's going to be people watching this that have been through setbacks, whatnot. But you're sitting here talking about all your eyes are in. Hey, you're not looking out. You're focusing on what you can control.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. What I can control and preparation. It's easy from the outside in looking in. Or even the person, right? Anyone can, I'm not an overthinker as well, but a lot of people are going to just overthink the whole situation. But with me, it's like I've got a job to do. This is a guy in front of me, and how I always treat a guy. I've got a game plan, and that's where all my focus is. You know, that's what I need to stick to a game plan to win. You know, it's not that you're coming off 2 losses, that's why you're going to lose. Then it's just like I've got a game plan. If I get caught, and I've always thought that even before the 2 KO losses. This is you get what I mean. So the mindset's exactly how it's always been. This guy's got a puncher's chance. As I said, that's the only way I see myself losing. So I've got to have the right strategy to stop that from happening.
Well, just on strategy, a guy like Diego, as brilliant as he is, I don't think he's as good a grappler as Islam Makhachev. I don't think he's as good a striker as Ilia Topuria. He's obviously a very different style to the 2 of them, but how do you feel like the 2 camps that you had in preparation for Ilia and Islam have prepared you for taking on a guy like Diego, who is well-rounded himself?
Yeah, for sure. He's, I'll put him up there with, when it comes to jiu-jitsu and dangerous submissions, I'll put him up there because he's quite aggressive with submissions and he's good. Like, it's not just throwing up any submissions. He really puts the submissions together very well. So he's good there. So that's going to be something that I need to take serious. But as you said, these camps that I've had with your Ortegas, and Islam, even Yair Rodriguez, I did so much submission defense with guys like Craig Jones, you know what I mean? And that just has always leveled me up. I've always been hard to submit, but then going through them camps, it almost makes you impossible to submit. That's how I feel, So I'm going to go in there with that mindset that I can't be finished in there. Like, he can't submit me. He can catch me, but I feel like I'm not just going to chase the takedown just because I know he can't submit me, because I believe I can capitalise on the feet as well. But we'll see where the fight goes. I think there's a lot I can capitalise on. He is very dangerous, so I will still respect his jiu-jitsu, but I'm going in there knowing that I'm going to be pretty hard to submit.
Volk, you got the whole country behind you, mate. Thanks for your time. Good luck this weekend.
No worries, thank you. Hey, we're getting it back and we're bringing that belt back.
NZ's behind you too, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, no doubt all Australian fans will be desperately hoping Alexander Volkanovski reclaims his crown, but his opponent this weekend, well, he certainly won a lot of people over with his entertaining style. So here's my conversation with Diego Lopes. Well, Diego, thanks so much for your time, and Fabiano, thank you for joining us. Now, guys, it feels like only yesterday, Diego, that we were discussing this exciting new prospect who's just entered the UFC, and wow, less than 2 years later, here you are fighting for a title. Talk us through how this whirlwind has been for you.
Pues ha sido un viaje corto, pero al mismo tiempo largo, ¿no? Yo creo que he trabajado mucho pues para ese momento y nada, pues qué les digo, ¿no? Primero llegué como un desconocido, después de la pelea que tuve en mi debut, pues crecieron las expectativas, ¿no? Y pues pelea tras pelea la gente me fue teniendo como un prospecto y pues hoy tengo esa gran oportunidad que es pelear por el título.
You know, it's been a short but long trip. I've worked a lot throughout my life to do this, and I just, what can I say? I was this guy who was a prospect that I could turn into a prospect after my first fight, a guy who's an unknown in my first fight, and after a first fight, people started looking at me, and then I guess fight after fight, I started delivering on the promise, and here I am fighting for the title.
You know what, Diego, what I love most about you is you're a bit old school in a way. Like, not only are you an all-action fighter, but I think up until that Brian Ortega fight, you were averaging a fight once every 3-4 months. It reminded me a little bit of the man that you're taking on this weekend, an Australian legend, Alexander Volkanovski. How excited are you to be testing yourself against a legend like him?
No, pues para mí es algo increíble, ¿no? Pues es un peleador que ha seguido su carrera pues desde hace muchos años. Desde cuando estaba fuera do UFC, pues le he acompañado, es un peleador que tiene mucha historia, ¿no? Y pues para mí es algo increíble, ¿no? Como ya había mencionado en otras entrevistas, pues es satisfactorio, ¿no? Pues entrenar tanto que tus ídolos pues sea tu contrincante un día, ¿no? Entonces eso habla pues del gran trabajo que estás haciendo y pues ahorita tener esa oportunidad de pelear frente a él pues es algo que me motiva bastante.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that I've followed his career before the UFC, so it was a guy that I've watched throughout my career, and I mean, to have the opportunity to fight against him, again, a guy who's always active, and it's interesting because you work so hard and you get to a point where your idols become your rivals and, people that you're challenging. So to have the opportunity to be there and cheer you out, it's pretty cool to have that opportunity to just be a rival and fight that guy.
He's had a bit of a rough run of form recently, Diego, with 2 knockout losses. How do you think that will affect him in his fight against you?
Pues yo creo que mucha gente solo está voltando a ver esse lado e acaba olvidando um pouco do que ele hizo antes, ¿no? Pues si vamos a hablar de la división, pues él solo ha tenido una derrota dentro de la división. E pues yo no creo que lo va a afectar mucho porque ahora sim tomou bastante tempo de descanso, creo que tomou pouco mais de um ano. E pues nada, simplesmente estou esperando a melhor versão dele, estou esperando a melhor versão, o melhor Volkanovski que pode apresentar esse sábado na noite.
I think people made a mistake of actually paying attention to that side and don't pay attention to the other side, which is basically had one loss in the division. And that's what I see as a guy that just, I don't think it's going to affect him, especially because he took some time off after his last loss. I am waiting, and I have trained and I'm prepared for the best Alex Volkanovski out there. And that's who I'm ready to face on Saturday.
Fighters seem to have a very difficult time breaking Alexander Volkanovski down, and he says most of them simply have a puncher's chance. Do you agree? Do you feel like you need to finish Volkanovski to beat him, or do you feel like you are capable of outclassing him for 5 rounds if need be?
Não, pues yo creo que todo peleador pues es un enigma a descifrar, ¿no? Yo creo que toda mi carrera pues me ha puesto retos en frente, pues he podido descifrar sin ningún problema. Y pues yo he entrenado justamente para eso, ¿no? Para romper con esa expectativa que la gente tiene de que cómo se va a desarrollar la pelea, ¿no? Yo sé, Volkanovski es un peleador muy inteligente, sabe levar las peleas pues a su manera, ¿no? La adapta pues a su manera, le gusta levar la pelea a la larga distancia, que es donde le va mucho mejor. Y pues nosotros estamos preparados para eso, hemos entrenado para todas las situaciones posibles.
I think every fighter is an enigma that needs to be deciphered, and I think you do your job to understand them more and more, and that's what you're doing. You're trying to understand how to do it, and I think we have them figured out. I mean, I think we've worked for this to understand how he goes. I think he's a fighter that likes to work on the distance. I think that's how he feels more comfortable at a distance that's manageable. That's what he does. He works to do that, and I think we have obviously to counterattack that. I think we are ready and we are prepared, and we have worked a lot to counter that.
He says he expects you to be overeager to begin the fight, maybe even a little reckless. Is that the plan, to rush in on Alex Volkanovski, do you feel?
Yo creo que la gente tiene como una idea equivocada sobre mí, pensa que yo nada más me dejo ir adelante como loco, ¿no? Pero yo creo que não param para analisar que sou um peleador muito paciente e simplesmente quando conecto la mano é quando vou para adelante, ¿no? Entonces yo creo que la gente acaba olvidando un poco isso ou simplesmente não pone a analisar as coisas, ¿no? Pero no, yo no soy un peleador loco, simplemente si conecto una mano, ok, ahí voy por ti, ¿no? Pero no voy a dejar mismo como loco, no. Yo sé que es una pelea de 5 rounds, yo sé que es una pelea que pode pasar de todo, ¿no?
I think people have the wrong idea about me because they think I'm not a guy that pushes forward like a crazy man, just goes reckless for it. What happens is I'm a very patient fighter and someone that waits for its turn. But whenever the hand connects, I'm gonna go for it. So I understand this. This is a 5-round fight. I'm not gonna go like crazy. I am not that type of fighter. I know how to manage it, but I just is what happens when that hand connects. I'm gonna go for it, and that's the opportunity I won't miss.
Diego Lopes, great to chat. Can't wait to see you in action this weekend. Yeah, the title challenger certainly not underestimating his opponent here this weekend. We're off to a short break here on Fox Sports. Stay with us right after this. Paddy Pimblett's going to take Shaun and I into the Casilla Center. We're going to sit courtside to watch a Miami Heat game. You won't want to miss that. We're back in a moment.
Volkanovski is fighting a perfect fight right now, to be honest.
Volkanovski got it done. He fought well.
Alexander the Great Volkanovski.
Big right for Volk. Volk is going for it. It's over. Looked like Martinez trying to close the distance. That would do it. Still.
Oh, good right hand.
Volkanovski picking his spots beautifully here.
No! Oh my goodness, what a DT Martiga!
He might go to sleep. The grip is broken. What a rally! Championship medal from Volkanovski.
Oh my goodness, that is tight!
gonna go for the arm.
Oh, yeah!
Are you kidding me right now? He's a savage, man.
Oh, good right hand by Volkanovski. Well, he just keeps getting better. That's the bottom line. He's stung him with that left hand and a right. This has really been a virtuoso performance.
Yeah. And he lands another right hand.
Oh my goodness, now he's pouring it on.
The champion Alexander Volkanovski with a signature performance tonight.
Welcome back to UFC Fight Week on Fox Sports. We are broadcasting from inside the Casilla Center here in Miami, where UFC 314 will take place this weekend. Right now it's being used to house the Miami Heat taking on the Philadelphia 76ers, and we're joined by one of the stars of this weekend, Paddy the Paddy Pimblett. What brings you to the game, mate? You a big basketball fan?
No, I'm not a huge basketball fan. It's probably my favourite of the American sports because it's the easiest to understand, but I'm just here to look at the venue. Can't wait to fight in here on Saturday night.
Yeah, bro, talk to us a little bit about coming to these sorts of things. I walk in here, I'm wide-eyed, right, blown away by the place. Is this just normality for you now, or you still get a little bit of a buzz out of it?
No, this is just normal to me now, to be honest. It really is. It's probably going to be a buzz sitting courtside because I've never sat courtside for a basketball game before. Just being up close and personal.
Are you big on visualization, Paddy? I mean, only a few days from now, you're going to be standing right there fighting for a spot inside the top 10. Destiny will be made.
Yeah, I do. I think you've got to visualise, to be honest. Every night when I get in bed, lad, I've had about 15 different ways that I'm going to finish Chandler. Just all going through my head, each one of them. So, yeah, I do visualise.
From now until fight, give us a little bit of insight into what goes on getting yourself ready for it.
Well, my fight camp's done, basically, you know what I mean? It's just tapering down, just doing more intense, shorter bits of training like the fight will be, and obviously it's all about the weight cuts, it's all about making weight.
You've had a couple of really big wins recently, Paddy, of course, King Green and Tony Ferguson. Michael Chandler is undoubtedly, though, your toughest test today. He's very explosive. How are you approaching a guy like him tactically and stylistically?
Well, we've got a game plan like we always do. We've watched a lot of footage on him. We've picked all the holes in his game out and we're going to exploit them, and that's why I think I'm going to make it look easy. You know what I mean?
Speaking of holes in the game, he did have some moments against Charles Oliveira where it looked a bit sketchy for him on the ground. Do you see that as a potential path to victory for him, and do you identify his ground game as a potential weakness?
Yeah, of course, but I think I'm better than him everywhere. I think I'll outstrike him on the feet. I think I've got better MMA wrestling on him, and I know I've got better grappling on him. I think I can knock him out or submit him, so that's why I think I'll have finished him within 2 rounds.
I've got no more questions, brother. All I want to say is that we love our Scousers, lad, and good luck, eh? Rip in, brother, rip in.
Yeah, great fun there courtside with Paddy the Baddy. Let's hear from the other side of the co-main event. This is my conversation with Iron Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for your time on Fox.
Thanks for having me, man. UFC 314, baby. Let's go.
That's it. I can't wait. You know, you're coming off an incredible 5-round war against Charles Oliveira only a few months ago at Madison Square Garden, and here you are in another big 5-round fight. I imagine you're really stoked not only to be back and active, but to be getting the rounds in the octagon.
Yeah, you know, obviously I took a little detour called the Ultimate Fighter 31 and the Conor fight thing, you know, getting booked, falling through. Sometimes it's good to remind the fans. I came into the UFC in the first 26 months, did 6 training camps. I was the backup for the world title, and then fought 5 times.
Yeah.
And every single fight of the night, fight of the year candidates, debut of the year, knockout of the year. So I'm an active fighter. Just took a little time off, which was good for me, good for my heart and my soul especially. So fought in November, now fighting again in April. In 2025, we're staying busy.
How much did that November fight benefit you, Michael? Because, I mean, obviously there was a lot of discussion and speculation around the possibility of ring rust before that fight in New York. I imagine it puts you in pretty good stead coming into this fight in April.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. You know, essentially I took the holidays off. You know, I had an injury in that fight, so I had to rehab a little bit and do some PT, physical therapy. And as soon as I was ready to go, the phone call came in, and, you know, I made the call, and Paddy Pimblett's name got drawn, and here we are. So I'm excited to go compete. I was just, I think Paddy hasn't fought for almost a year now, maybe. Does that sound right? Last July, so 10 months. So I'm excited to go.
Yeah. We'll speak about Paddy in just a moment, but something that you said really intrigued me. You said that there were moments in that Charles Oliveira fight that reassured you that you were a veteran. Mm-hmm. One, what were those moments? And two, is that a good thing? Yeah, it's a good thing. And also, it's a feeling that you get, right? Unless you've competed inside of the octagon, you wouldn't be able to understand. But sometimes you walk in there and you just feel at home. You feel like your feet are right where they need to be. The cage feels comfortable. The lights feel the right temperature of warmth. And that's how it felt. And I think that's how it's going to feel on Saturday night. It's wins and losses are going to happen. You're going to have good performances, bad performances, but I went 25 minutes with one of the best to ever do it at lightweight, a guy who finished Gaethje, finished Poirier. First time he's ever gone to championship round. So there's a lot of things to take out of that, but just the general sense and the feeling that I felt, the confidence that I had, and yeah, I wasn't able to put together a win. There's some of those things were outside of my control inside there, so I'm excited to go out there and right the wrong on Saturday. Is it possible for Paddy Pimblett to feel that same way, to feel like a veteran, to have those moments of clarity in there, considering that he's far more inexperienced than you are?
I don't think so, but that doesn't mean that he won't rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
I've said it a couple times now. The presence of the absence of a strength of schedule like I've had doesn't mean that there's the presence of his weakness or he's a coward or he's not one of the tough guys in bright future. You can't say that he doesn't have it because he hasn't fought anybody yet. Well, because he hasn't fought anybody yet. Not that he hasn't fought anybody yet, but he hasn't fought the top guys yet. This is his first opportunity to fight the top guys. So we'll see how he responds. Does he sink? Does he swim? And then also I've got some questions to be answered too. Who is Michael Chandler? How good is he still? Does he still have it? So there's a lot at stake on Saturday night. And there's only been a couple times in my UFC run now that I've had my back up against the wall. That was my UFC debut when I had to prove who I was. And then on a 2-fight losing streak after when I got lined up against Tony Ferguson, and something spectacular happened that night. So I think this kind of feels like one of those moments. I just had a baby daughter who was born a few days ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And right before the Tony Ferguson fight, my son Ace was born. So my son, Hap, and my wife will be in attendance. And both of those were crazy, big-time knockouts, backflips, promos. So I feel like that just feels like what's going to happen on Saturday night.
Do you feel the pressure? Do you feel like your back is up against the wall right now?
I mean, a little bit. It's the first time I fought a guy who's not ranked as high as me, you know, except for when I was coming into the UFC. Well, I guess I was coming into the UFC. I had an opportunity to fight a top 5 guy, except for when I fought Tony Ferguson. I was ranked number 5. He was ranked number 7. So now I'm number 7, and Paddy's number 12. But it's my obligation and my opportunity to show that there's levels to this, and not that Paddy doesn't have a bright future, not that Paddy's not a great dude and doesn't train hard, but I just believe in myself and the calling of my life.
You're a brilliant student of the game, Michael. How do you tactically break down the style of fighter that Paddy is? What impresses you about him, and what weaknesses, if any, do you spot?
The most impressive thing about him is he believes in himself, and that is probably the most important thing in mixed martial arts. Whether he's got great striking, great grappling, great cardio, that stuff is actually second to the actual self-belief of the man inside the octagon. He does believe in himself. With that being said, he comes out, he throws big punches. He's not afraid to engage in a firefight. He's not afraid to come forward. He's not afraid to take a shot, to land a shot. He's pretty good on the ground. He's got some submissions. There's no doubt, I think, after we exchange a couple big punching exchanges, he's going to want to take the fight to the ground, because I don't think he's going to want to stand with me. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, because he's got bird hands.
He's got bird hands, man. But Scousers don't get knocked out apparently. So I'm going to put his name to the test.
Well, I'm not going to mention Darren Till, but I mean, I don't know that necessarily holds up. But you're an all-American wrestler, Michael, and he insists, though, that if you do take the fight to the floor, that you might encounter some problems. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, you're fighting guys in the UFC. You might encounter some problems at all times. Everybody's dangerous. But with that being said, I mean, I've got great training partners. I train with BJJ black belts, Dagestani, Russian Sambo champions, Division I wrestlers, national champions. I train with a ton of great grapplers at my training camp in Florida. So we'll see. I'm not going to say I'm not worried about his submissions. You're never go into a fight not worried about something. You got to be cognizant of it. You got to be aware of it, and you got to go ahead and fight as hard as you can.
Oh, we can't wait to see you in action. It's great to see you active. Michael Chandler, thanks for your time. That's all we've got time for on Fox Sports, but stay with us. We'll have plenty more every single day in the lead up to UFC 314 this Sunday, which of course you can order at mainevent.com.au. We'll be there at the press conference and at the weigh-in, so it should be a massive week right here in Florida.